minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Shout out to Kopish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
Keep all the good work
the
up.
two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that guy. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kopish.
Good morning, lovely people. I hope you're well. Welcome to another morning meetup show. Darwin Nunez is apparently wanted by Al-Hilal in Saudi Arabia. Liverpool have been linked with a Greek wonder kid called Stefanos Tzimas, and Liverpool's FA Cup draw has been confirmed against Plymouth Argyle on the weekend of the 8th of February. As always, when we get behind the mic, please make sure you subscribe, comment, and like. Welcome, everybody. Hope everyone is enjoying the start of the week. Hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. And we are back, people. Right, Liverpool over the weekend managed to secure their place in the next round of the FA Cup, so all good there. Man United and Arsenal went toe-to-toe. Arsenal lost out, and there's been a meltdown in that fan base, and we love to see it. Long may that continue, and hopefully that form translates over to the Premier League as well, so that we can hopefully open up more of a gap in the title race. But we are going to start with Darwin Nunez. Darwin Nunez has been a player that has split opinions since he's been at Liverpool. Some love him, some hate him. I've been told I hate him because I don't rate him as highly as I should rate him. When, if you actually look back on tapes, I've defended him quite a lot and said that I've never ever called him rubbish. I don't think he's rubbish. I just don't think he suits us or the Premier League. But again, it seems as though if you don't love Darwin like you're meant to, then you hate him, when I think there's a bit of a grey area there. That being said, he is wanted apparently by Al-Hilal in Saudi Arabia. Apparently, the club are willing to offer Darwin around £400,000 per week on salary. Liverpool have apparently set an asking price of 85 million. Crazy money, both salary and asking price. I don't think he's worth 85 million, but I also didn't think Fabinho was worth, what was it, 40 million they paid for him, I believe, but they did. I also don't think he's worth 400k a week, but in that current market, in that part of the world, 400k is not crazy money. That being said, this is where I'm going to show that I can be objective and level-headed about this Darwin stuff. I wouldn't sell him in January. And I know everyone's going to go, yeah, just sell him. He's this, he's that, and the other. I'm not selling him in January unless I know for a fact we're getting a bona fide striker or attacker coming in. Or else don't sell him. It wouldn't make sense. We are going after multiple trophies at the moment. I'm not saying he's a star. I'm not even saying he's the first name you'd bring off the bench. But if you're going for multiple trophies, You'll be glad to know, people, that I'm sending my laptop off for repair today or on Wednesday. After this little antics just then, it probably will go on today, to be honest. I don't think I can keep this much longer without sabotaging my mental health. Where was I? I wouldn't sell Darwin Nunez in January. I'm not selling him unless we're going to get someone in that I know is going to be a certified top quality attacker. And I know people will sit there and go, but Jayden Danns is here and, you know, he's a goal scorer. I believe Jayden Danns has a massive future at Liverpool Football Club. But I'm also not going to put that sort of pressure on him where we're looking at him going, he's got a fill-in now for Darwin Nunez from now to the end of the season. Again, if we're going for multiple trophies and we're going to try and not sabotage that happening, then I'm not selling Darwin in January. It doesn't make sense to me. It makes very little sense to me. Now, I know the money's great and getting 85 million is all cool. But if that comes at the expense of us potentially losing out on players or losing out on trophies, then I'm not doing it. And let's say, for example, Kvaratskhelia did come in this month to Liverpool, and then we get this bid in from Al-Hilal for Nunez, then yes, I'm on board with it, because you can move Kvara to the left along the side with Gakpo. Diaz and Jota can be your main strikers with Jayden Danns in the background, and then you've got Salah and Chiesa. But if we're just selling Nunez and we're not bringing in anyone of a high level, I'm not doing it. 85 mil is brilliant money, especially literally recouping all the money. But why do it? Why put that risk on yourselves? Why do it? We did that back in 2008, 2009 season where we sold Robbie Keane back to Spurs. Didn't get anyone in, and we missed out on the Premier League by a few points. I'm not taking that risk. So whether you love him, whether you hate him, I'm going to tell you straight, I'm not selling Darwin in January. Not unless someone as a bona fide attacker comes in. Because to me, weakening the squad at this stage of the season doesn't make sense. So again, not sitting there saying I'm his biggest fan. I'm also not a hater of Darwin either. I just kind of call what I see from him as a footballer. I can separate the two things. As a human, Darwin seems to be pretty good as a human. Seems to be a good family man. Looks after his wife, looks after his kids. He's passionate about playing football. He's passionate about the club, it seems. Seems to be a laugh off the pitch. But on the pitch, he needs to improve. And if we're not going to get that improvement from him, then we obviously need to sell him. But I'm not selling him and not bringing someone else in, because that is, to me, that is silly. Do not weaken the squad. We're in an advantageous position, because it will come back to bite us. We don't need to do that. So, yeah, that's my take on the Darwin Nunez stuff. In the summer, completely different situation, completely different topic, completely different argument for me. In the summer, we sell him. Or unless we go and bring in someone right now who says, yep, I'm here to make this team better. I'm here to make this squad better. If we can't do that, then I'm not selling it. Again, Alay, not calling you out personally. Obviously, Alay, you've been following the channel for a while, so I'd never call you out personally either. But the reason I want to bring this comment up is because a few people have been alluding to this, saying Dan starts ahead of Nunez, so why keep Nunez? I don't think Dan does start ahead of Nunez right now. Dan doesn't even make the bench a lot of the time. I don't think you can use the Accrington Stanley game and go, Dan is starting ahead of Nunez. Do I think Dan is a better finisher than Nunez in front of goal? Possibly. Like, does he have a bright future? Absolutely. But Dan's has had a really bad injury for a long time, has only just come back into the team, hasn't even played regular first team football at the highest level. To then say, you know, he starts over Nunez or he replaces Nunez right now, I think is a risk we shouldn't need to take. Like, we're speculating here. And look, I'm saying this as someone who rates Jayden Danns extremely highly. Can anyone sit there with any real evidence? When I say real, I'm talking about real tangible evidence to suggest that Jayden Danns comes in and replaces Nunez and ups our level. Not just replaces him as a body, but ups our level. I don't think anyone can do that if we're speaking objectively. Like, if you're going to play Jayden Dams, why not keep Nunez about? I understand some of you are saying get the money in. It's a massive amount. We can reinvest that. Yeah, we can reinvest that in the summer potentially, but we're not reinvesting that into the right player now. If we were able to get someone like Kvaratskhelia, I'm all over this. I'm saying, yeah, let's cash in. Let's do what we need to do. But we ain't got the luxury of going out and getting someone who is going to take this team to a higher level. So why just sell for the sake of it? For me, it doesn't make sense, in my humble opinion. So time will tell to see what happens with this one. I don't even expect a bid in January, if I'm going to be honest. I don't think there will be a bid. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion. On to another striker, and that is Stefanos Tzimas. Greek wonder kid, 18 years old. So far this season, has played 14 games, got 8 goals, 1 assist. That's all I know about the guy. That's all I know. Shout out to Vinny in the chat. Big up, bro. Hope you're well. Hope the family's well as well. That's all I know about Stefanos Tzimas. Don't know anything about him. What I will say is apparently we're looking to bid 25 million for him. Sorry, but again, this doesn't really add up for me. This sounds like agent work. He's 18 years old. Dan's turns 19 in 3 days' time. Dan's has played at a high level, even though not consistently. He's played at a higher level than Stefanos, and we look as though we are going big on the future of Jayden Dams. Slot even spoke about the likes of Jayden Dams, Rio, and Trey as well at a press conference, saying that this is a club whereby we try and bring players through the ranks. It's important that we do that here. I don't see us going out and getting an 18-year-old striker when we've got Dams, who's exactly the same age. Like, he plays in the second tier of the Bundesliga. Like, 25 mil. That's a lot of money. I don't think that makes sense. I don't see us even doing it because you've got a Jayden Dams there. You've got Oakley Cannonier. You've got players in the academy who are around that age group and scoring goals and doing well. I'm not saying they're better than Stefanos, but I'm saying we've given what we need to do squad-wise. Would we outlay 25 million for a striker when we don't need him, as opposed to a centre-back or a left-back or a centre midfielder? And to do that in January kind of doesn't make sense. Here's Eugene, bro. What evidence is there to suggest that Tzimas is clear of Nunez? Respectfully. Because up until we got linked with him a day or so ago, I'd never seen anyone in the chat mention Stefanos Tzimas. And it's someone that if you see their name in the chat, you definitely remember it. So we can't do this. We can't do this whole just because there's a player linked with us that he's automatically better than Darwin. I guarantee you if Darwin played in the second tier of the Bundesliga in Germany and he played 14 games, Darwin would probably be on about 20 goals right now. I'd almost guarantee that. There's a difference between saying Darwin's not good enough for Liverpool and Darwin is a rubbish footballer or a rubbish striker. There's a big difference. We need to differentiate the two. Darwin might not be good enough for Liverpool to be a striker, but he absolutely cooks at other teams. So this is what I'm saying about being objective. We have to be objective when we're speaking about this stuff. So for me, the fact that we need to strengthen other positions, the fact that we've got Jayden Dams, who looks like he could go on to have a massive future at Liverpool Football Club, and the fact that we don't just sign players for the sake of it. this to me sounds like a nothing story. It sounds like it's been made up. It sounds like his agents work to get his name out there more. Apparently Newcastle, Brighton, and a few other teams have been linked to him. This is the signing I see Brighton going for. One of these gems that potentially can stay at Brighton for 3-4 years, improve, and then be sold on for a profit. We don't have time to do that at Liverpool. We don't need to do that at Liverpool with this particular profile of player. If we talk about centre-backs and stuff like that, then yeah, we need to get more centre-backs and defenders in and midfielders in around that 17 to 18 to see if they can mature into the player that we want in the future. But as for striker, then not for me. It doesn't make too much sense for me. Right. On to the FA Cup. And as you've seen, guys, we've been drawn against Plymouth Argyle. The game is been pending for the weekend of the 8th and 9th of February. Now, looking at the fixtures in and around that, we'd be playing Spurs on Thursday, the 6th of February in the second leg of the Carabao Cup. That suggests to me that we won't be playing this game on the Saturday. We played on the Sunday. So that game would be on the 9th of February because they're not going to move the Spurs game because that's already booked in. So that to me suggests that game's going to be on the 9th and probably an afternoon/evening game as well. So that would more likely that game's going to be on TV, which is good for Plymouth because they get some money from that as well. The game's away, so obviously I think it would have been even better if it was at Anfield because after that game we have Wolves at home as well, but that's not until the 16th of February. I actually think this is a favourable draw for us. Obviously, Plymouth are not in the same league as us, and we should be able to navigate that fixture. But also, given that we're going into the Carabao Cup at a deficit, we're going to have to go hard in that game to get the win. It'll be a nice game to rotate some of those players after that game, hopefully after a win as well. And playing Plymouth, it gives the opportunity again to see players like your Endos, who Slot has been speaking highly of, players like your Rio potentially off the bench, players like Chiesa, and also players like Jadon Danns. They could get some minutes in this game as well. So again, it's another great draw for us. It really is. And I'm an advocate of trying to get as easy a draw as you can potentially get up until you have to start playing some of the bigger players and also bigger teams. And it really has just helped us a lot. I'll read through some of the other fixtures from the draw. You've got Manchester United versus Leicester City. After Man United's resurgence recently, you'd expect them to win that. You got Birmingham City versus Newcastle. Exeter versus Nottingham Forest. Brighton versus Chelsea is a big game. You'll be losing one of the bigger teams there. Aston Villa versus Spurs, again another big game there where you'd be losing one of your potential rivals. If we navigate this fixture and get through, shout out to Clark Kent. Elliott's another player as well. Yeah, hopefully Elliott can play in the 10 in this game, for example, as opposed to on the right, because hopefully Chiesa would be up to speed by that time and fit and firing. Yeah, it's been a favourable draw. So if we can navigate this game and then we can get a favourable draw the next game as well in the 5th round, and then from the quarters you start looking at some of your big hitters, then you can start going, all right, now we may have to play some more of the first teamers. But yeah, I'm happy with that draw and hope we do the business and get through. On to Kai Gordon. He's a second Liverpool player to be recalled from loan after Calvin Ramsey was recalled and then sent out, I think, to Kilmarnock, I want to say. Kai Gordon's been at Norwich and he's now been recalled due to a lack of playing time. I think this brings up a bigger question, though, and I want to hear your guys' take on this. Kai Gordon is someone who had such high hopes and a bright future at one stage and then got a really, really bad injury. Was out for well over a year. And that really stunted and stagnated his growth as a footballer and his seeding in the team, because Klopp was really a big fan of him. He scored a goal against, I want to say, Cardiff in the FA Cup. And he's obviously gone on loan to Norwich, hoping to get some game time, hoping to revive his career and then maybe come back to Liverpool. It doesn't look like it's going to happen now. And the reason I'm asking these questions is, do you think some of these players who've gone out on loan and it hasn't worked out, Do you think they get another opportunity to go out on loan in the summer? Or do you think we just start cashing in on some of these players? Some of these players who are getting to that 19-year-old, 20-year-old age range and go, they're not going to make it here. So why hang on to them? Why let them waste time on their contract like we've done with people like Reece Williams and Nat Phillips? Do we put these players in the shop window? I'm seeing, obviously, Ben Doak might be going, and it looked like Ben Doak was having a good, well, not look like, he's having a good season at Middlesbrough, and it looked like he might be coming back, and then you go, yeah, maybe Ben Doak is a player in and around the first team, but it looks like we're going to cash in on him as well. Do you think that obviously with Klopp going and people like Bobby Clark going in the summer, do you think there's now almost going to be a refresh of the academy and some of the players in the under 21s where we go, you know, we're going to kind of cash in on a lot of these players, bring in some money. And let's say we bring in, I don't know, 60 mil from selling like 8 players or something like that. That 60 mil, a lot of that might be pure profit, but not just that as well. You could maybe reinvest maybe 25 mil back into the academy, because you still have to have a thriving academy. So instead of having 19, 20-year-olds in the academy who are not kind of cutting it, you go and spend that on like 16 and 17-year-olds who are waiting to move from the under 18s to the under 21s. And then the other money that's remaining, that can go into the first team. So imagine like we can make 60 mil of selling like 8 academy players or 8 players who are on loan, for example. And that 35 mil, for example, left over goes and buys a Jarrell Hatto. That for me represents good business. And I know people hate this sell to buy model and all that. Sell to buy happens in football all the time. We need to start selling players if we're going to improve the squad, because you can't just keep on buying and buying and buying, because you'll reach your limit. And we're close to reaching our limit in terms of squad depth and squad numbers. So you have to start selling players. So you're not selling players just to buy players. You're selling players to make space for better players to come in. Whoa, Russell, this can't be true. Hatto signed a new contract and it's 80 mil release clause. Well, that's it for us. That rules us out. I don't see anyone paying 80 mil for Hatto though. That's surely not. Surely that's got to be, that's really bad advice from the, unless he's just really happy at Ajax, and unless someone does come in with that bid, then he thinks about it. But 80 mil release clause for Hatto, that is high, man. He's really boxed himself in there. We will see, man. We will see. Look, got a couple supers here. Shout out to Lorato. Says, so Cal, do you believe Darwin can still add value to the squad for the rest of the season? Asking for a Nunez fan. I think it's better to have Darwin than not to have Darwin. Whether we can add value to the squad, technically, yes. He can. Obviously, we saw in the Carabao Cup against Southampton, he got the opening goal. So technically, yeah, you can say he would add value to the squad, but either way, it's better you keep him than sell him and not bring anyone in my opinion, personally. Shout out to Soren. Soren says, big up Cal. I agree with you. Both Danz and Rio needs time. If we need to be competitive in 4 cups, I think we should be opportunistic and change Nunez to someone who can score goals. You never walk alone. I fully agree with that. I fully agree with that. Like 100%. 100%. It's just, who can you go and get, though, bro? That's the question. Who can you go and get now? That's going to really take you to another level. Andrew Wright says, we have 60 mil from August. Where's it gone? 60 mil from August. Where's that from? Let me know, Andrew. Where's that 60 mil from? I'm trying to think who we sold. We sold Sepp. We sold Carvalho. Brought in Chiesa. No, but the Zubi money, that we didn't bring in money to try and get Zubimendi, for example. All right, so Bobby Clark, we got some money for Solanke, Carvalho, and Sepp, but we signed Chiesa. So Yeah, so you'd say we had like maybe 45 million left over then. No, well, I hear it, by the way. I hear it. Again, you know my thoughts on the owners, but their argument will probably be, well, the summer before that, Liverpool spent more than they brought in. Again, not my liking, but that's probably what they'll say. You're right again, guys, in the chat. Bare money saved on wages. The money that we've saved on wages from letting Thiago and Matip go should have gone straight to Virgil, Salah, and Trent. Should have gone straight to them. Shouldn't even have been a debate. Shouldn't have been a debate. But again, even the contract talk's gone quiet as well. So I don't even know what to make of that. Jacques says, I would swap Darwin for Ivan Toney. I doubt Ivan Toney wants to leave where he is. I know he's a boyhood Liverpool fan, but he's just got to Saudi and he's making stupid money over there. We'd have to buy Toney. We couldn't just get him for free or get him for cheap. We'd have to buy Toney. We're not going to spend that sort of money on Ivan Toney. If I'm not mistaken, Ivan Toney's near 30. Ivan Toney. Oh, he's 20. He's 28. Sorry, he's going to be 29 in March. We're not spending that sort of money on Ivan Toney. I love Ivan Toney, by the way. I think he's brilliant, but we're not spending that sort of money on Ivan Toney. Like, it just wouldn't happen. Oh, Malafo says Gerard Hato has no release clause according to Fabrizio. There's probably like a gentleman's agreement if that's the case, that if there's no release clause, but that to me suggests that they've signed him on a new contract just to make sure they keep his value as high as possible. And kudos to the player for doing that as well. For me, guys, we know what our owners are, innit? Like, we know what they are. Spoken about this for years now. What are we going to do about it? What can we do about it? Probably nothing. To both questions. We can't probably do anything about it and probably won't do anything about it. But yeah, this is not how I want Liverpool Football Club to be run. Liverpool Football Club should be buying some of the best players in the world. We should be securing the best players in the team that we have to like the best contracts and making sure they stay for long term. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. But people, look, don't want to end on doom and gloom. Liverpool are through to the next round of FA Cup. We have one tie to save in the Carabao Cup, and we're top of the Champions League and top of the Premier League as well. So far from doom and gloom, people. So let's not go overboard with it. Let's not at all. Right, people, as I said, we will be back later on tonight with the Monday night live show. So make sure you join us for that. Also, if you're an MMA fan or a combat fan, I'm going to be going live in about, what's the time now? About quarter past, in about 10 minutes on the Sanderson show. You'll be redirected to that. So please do join me over there. I'll be going live at about 12:30. So I'd be greatly appreciated if you could join me over there on the road to 4,000 subs over there. So please do help me get there as well. And on this channel, we're on the road to 35,000 subs. So do subscribe if you haven't already. People, big up to you all. Thank you for all watching and listening. Please do smash that like button on the way out. He just says, do you speak on boxing or just... No, I speak on boxing as well. All combats. All major combat sports. So yeah, I speak on boxing as well. The channel name is The Sanderson Show. Let me put a link to the channel in the chat. So yeah, I do like to have a nice little chat about combat sports. I do enjoy combat sports, as you guys will know from watching this. So let me put the link in the chat for you guys now. Should see that any second, people. So yeah, people, join me over there if you want to have a little chat over there. Otherwise, people, enough love to you all. Make sure you join us later, maybe around 8:30 or 9 p.m. for the Monday night live show. Have a fantastic rest of the Monday, and to see you next time. Stay safe, stay blessed. We're Kopish, we're out, people. Take care.